be fair, if your athletic skills earned a university millions of dollars each year and your share of that revenue is absolutely nothing. Yet this happens every year in the relationship between the student athletes and the NCAA. College sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. With the NCAA and its members, the university is projected to earn in the excess of $1 trillion over the next 50 years. It was reported in the season of 2011 and 2012, the NCAA made $871.6 million. And if you do not know, college athletes are deemed amateurs, which means they cannot receive any pay for their play. That shocked me because aren't they the main cogs in this multi-billion-dollar machine? Put yourself in this situation. If you plan on playing college sports, you'll soon find that it's really hard to hold a job. The student athlete is allowed to hold a job, but is limited by their coach's mandatory schedule. When you play college sports, 95% of your day is dedicated to participating in that sport. And if you're not receiving a scholarship to play that sport, you'll have a tough time paying for college just in itself. So, in this speech, I will present to the audience why college athletes need to be paid. I will do this by presenting statistics and facts from the college financial world. First, I'll give a few examples of how much money college football and sports in general makes. College sports is a billion-dollar business funded by television contracts, ticket sales, merchandise sales, and alumni donations. There are several very large TV deals in place that will generate billions. For example, ESPN will pay each of the 14 SEC schools $29 million to $35 million per year over the next 20 years, totaling in over $9 billion at that time period. And others, Turner Broadcasting and CBS, have signed a 14-year deal worth $10.8 billion for the television rights to the NCAA men's basketball tournament, otherwise known as March Madness. And both of these deals have been reported by NewYorkTimes.com. Those are just several sports conferences and tournaments. But what about the amount the NCAA makes off of it? The NCAA itself will take in nearly $800 million a year, and this mostly comes from the March Madness television contracts. The NCAA men's football and basketball combined generates more than $6 billion in annual revenue, and that's more than the National Basketball Association makes annually. The NCAA will make $40 billion over the next 15 years from payments made by its television partners. The college athletes, the workers, they make none of this. These statistics were also reported by NewYorkTimes.com and BleacherReport.com. Now you know how much money the NCAA makes off of college sports. I will explain what a college athlete is entitled to currently by the NCAA. What are the rules when it comes to being a college athlete? The NCAA rules are very strict when it comes to being the athlete. The rules state that no student athlete shall receive any improper benefits while attending his or her university. That means if you're offered a free hamburger, you're in direct violation of the rules. Money is also deemed a same and proper benefit, therefore illegal to receive. Now those are some rules regarding the student athletes. But what if the student athlete wants a job? The NCAA has rules for jobs held by athletes, but rarely ever helps them find the right job. The student athlete is allowed to hold a job, but is limited by their coach's mandatory schedule. Under the current NCAA rules, the student athlete is allowed to hold jobs and make money off their jobs. But there is a problem that exists with this. Student athletes who are in college sports are given a schedule for a whole year listing mandatory practice days, training days, and game days. This schedule usually takes up the entire day for the student athlete, leaving student athletes limited free time such as 10 o'clock p.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning to do their homework or what other stuff they have to do to make it through the day. But most athletes are on scholarships, they say, so they don't need jobs. Scholarships do help when it comes to paying for college. But if the athlete gets seriously injured, the college has the right to take that scholarship away. So if you're injured and your scholarship's taken away, not only are you paying for college, but you've got medical bills on top of that. Finally, let's present some ways that we can compensate the athletes. There are some ways we can do this. we can compensate them for video game appearances. They should receive royalties on the video game that they're on, because the game has nothing to do with the university. It is therefore only celebrating the athlete and its skills. Now, another way we can compensate athletes is being paid a set amount for the game that they participate, because they are using their skills to enhance the college's financial state. Other workers are paid for their use of skills, and it should be no different when it comes to college athletes. And a percentage of any merchandise that generates revenue for the university as a result of the student-athlete skill should go to the athlete. The sale of jerseys, for example, will bring in millions of dollars to the university, and with those sales being a result of fans wanting to be like their favorite student-athlete, shouldn't they get paid for that? Professionals do. Now, let's conclude on what we've learned today. The facts do not lie. College sports are a billion-dollar industry. Reports and statistics show that college athletes, as the workforce, generate these dollars, but do not receive any of the $1 billion that the corporate NCAA receives. More and more college athletes today end up being heavily in debt at the end of their college careers because they had no time to hold a job. And this problem cannot be overlooked by the NCAA for much longer. In the United States, we pride ourselves for rewarding someone for their skill, and it's become no different to the student athletes. I challenge yourselves to put yourself in the shoes of a college athlete now and see how hard the life of a college athlete is and how maybe a little extra pay could help them make it through college. It's hard being a college student, but it's even harder to be a college student athlete that is owned by the university's sports programs and does not receive any of the money that they are generating. It is time that all college athletes be paid for applying their athletic skills in his or her college sport.